Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. When the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way, you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time, just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance. If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Peace. What's going on?
Oh, they are arresting the journalist. A deeper phase of fascism.
Here we are again.
Fascism, my ass, honey. It's very much given the Nazi Germany playbook.
This is full blown.
This is full blown dictatorship.
Yes, that is fascism, darling.
Listen, Hitler.
Is that what fascism means?
Here, they studied the United States and what they were doing to us down south because we were already living in it. Thus, the Great Migration. 5 to 6 million black folks said, "We out of the fascism." So
is that what fascism means? Is that what fascism means? Dictatorship.
Authoritarianism. All of that is connected in that, where there is usually one dictator.
We've been living under it. White people and a lot of folks of color have not experienced that. But especially those of us, I feel like folks who come out that Great Migration experience, it's very clear that our grandparents, for some of us, our parents, they would tell us that's what they lived under, but they just didn't call it fascism, where you can't go to this water fountain, you can't go to this store, you can't pull over to pee.
Exactly. That's why
do shit.
That's why I'm trying to that's why I'm trying to get clarity, because this is a word that is so commonly used to identify people, and a lot of people that it's used to identify don't even understand what the fucking word means. I know if I'm confused about fascism. If I'm confused about fascism, I know that other people are. So it just means like an authoritarian government, which means like you have no control. They have complete control over you. Let's
check the dictionary real quick, just so we kosher.
All right. So fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, and ultranationalistic political ideology characterized by a dictatorial leader, militarism, and the forcible suppression of ops. That's just what it is. We can kill you, wear you out, and that's the rule. That because we make
right. Thus, 5 million Negroes after Emmett Till was murdered bounced out of the South. 5 million. The first million came before that. After that, we said we're out.
But this is a fairly new term, right? People actually did use it to describe Nazi Germany and and
absolutely.
slave trade
and Mussolini, what was happening. And no, I don't think I haven't heard too many people outside of people who are intentional around like being centering black people in the experience of folks who, were kidnapped and sex trafficked here. But for the most part, but yeah, but like in terms of World War II and thinking about the quote axis of evil or what have you, and thinking about the other powers that help, the US and Russia and everybody else, England, all that we're fighting against, that was Spain, uh, that was Italy, that was Germany with Hitler, Spain with what's the cat in Spain? Uh Pinochet.
I don't remember.
I gotta Google. I
Honey,
forgot it. And
Style.
then
honey, I don't know nothing about.
now Italy had Mussolini because it all happened around the same time around World War II, which is like leading up. That was a part of the buildup. Was this fascism was spreading across Europe, and so especially in Spain, Italy, and obviously Germany.
What
I got
I
it.
want to say, I want to kind of say this stuff too. So, of course, there is the dictator, that type of power, meaning that is ruled by a single, usually leader, often like a cult personality. That's why we're saying these particular names. That's why
Oh, Franco! Damn it! Yep. Sorry.
That's why Hitler name comes up when it comes to like Nazi in Germany, blah 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 blah. Because it's usually like one dude or whatever. It's usually extreme like nationalism. This is our nation. This is us. This is what we do to protect us. This is who our identity is. Usually rooted in racial stuff or cultural purity. We see this kind of happening in like Israel. We see usually it's some type of thing that definitely connects with race. Like you're not there's an
Oh,
insider
nationality. Yeah. Yeah.
nationality. There's an insider and an outsider, which we clearly see is happening in our country. Also, any kind of suppression of dissent, you do not have the freedom to go against them, which is a foundational thing for us here in America, which makes us different. That's what our democracy is based on. So, absolutely,
On paper.
fascist has on paper, yes, fascist has absolute control over their mass media and anything they can use any form to suppress that violence, legal. Silencing any kind of political opponents, any kind of like labor unions. Nope, you can't do that.
Right.
And any kind of minority group in your in the vicinity. That's ops, motherfucker. And of course they use.
So,
Go. What was you about to say?
so the complete opposite of what America is supposed to be on paper. It sounds like the fascist government or the fascist states could have been an inspiration for the Constitution or certain amendments, at least.
No. Fascism is later. This is in the 1900s, early 20th century is when you see it blow up. And when I in saying like the rest of the country, to so to speak, settler colony is experiencing what black people were experiencing down south because black folks couldn't vote. Black people could vote coming out of the Civil War, and we had black people in the United States Senate, black people in the
Well,
United States House of
hold on. You
Representatives.
confusing me. You can't.
Hold on, I'm
You
about to get
confusing.
to it because
No, you
they didn't have
confusing
any
me because
government.
you
Okay,
can't. You contradicted. You contradicted yourself. You said that Mussolini and all these other names that you gave, but now you're saying that fascism didn't start till the 1900s.
I'm saying my understanding is like the formal version of what we call fascism, because you had parties that were like, we're the fascist party, comes out of the 30s, the 1930s and 40s with folks like Mussolini in Italy, Franco in Spain, and Hitler in Germany. And what I am saying is the conditions of fascism Black people in the United States continue to, and but more so back in the day, after we first come out of slavery and start voting, getting people in the U.S. Senate, getting people in the United States House of Representatives, local state government, they tear all that down. We were living under the conditions of fascism, and everybody else was
now you
inferior.
losing me. You losing me again because I feel like you starting
I'm
to
just saying, people live
talk
under
about other stuff.
on people in this country, depending on where they live with their local state and local government and state government, live under the conditions of what Diamond described fascism is. But now, because everybody else is seeing it, because we have entered this era over the last 10 years with the politics, the white people are like, oh shit, they coming for us too. Well, yeah. That's, you know what I'm saying? But people did not believe that. And I think it's starting to connect, particularly for white people, like, oh shit, this is what the black people are talking about, even though we don't always call it fascism. You know what I'm saying? But the conditions of that,
Yeah,
especially
I
back in
get
the
what.
day in the Jim Crow era, I'm saying in particular.
Jay, you talking? You losing me? Like you?
It
Let me
must
As you
be
talk,
the U.S. My bad. My bad.
like I'm just trying to understand the
fascism.
concept of
Yeah.
fascism, and then
Yeah, my bad.
I can myself put the cues together based on how we live here in the U.S.
They use militarism and violence, so
Right.
they glorify force and war. So that is cool. This is peace and all that stuff. No, we are butch masculine men
Hold on. Hey,
gonna go to war. Wait. Let me
can I
just finish the point. Let me just finish the point of it. So we are butch masculine men, and we are protecting our borders, protecting our nation to any threats. So anybody inside and outside, we don't mind going to war and using our military to not only attack other people and invade other people, but also all the rules in regards to dissent, anything that's against us and our ops inside and out, we can use our military to come and kill them motherfuckers. We shoot them, we hang them, we fire and range their ass, whatever it is, we can do whatever we want because we make the law.
right.
And nobody, you can't, ain't no Supreme Court, ain't no voting, ain't all this shit that in America that we have been accustomed to say, oh, well, we need to vote them out, or we need to protest, or we need to do this, or that.
Right.
You cannot do that
Right.
under a fascist system because they will kill your ass and it be legal, and there's no legal recourse for you to do it. It's like because they make the law, it's legal for them to do it. So no system of due process. You don't go to, if we think you wrong, bitch, we can blow your motherfucking head off. There's no due process. There's no going to court, witness and trial. Nah, all that shit is nipped in the butt. We think you are out, we blow your head off.
Right.
Got two more. Wait. I got two more. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Two more.
Yeah, I was just getting, okay. That was just an example.
Economic and society. While private property
Right.
exists in a fascist state, yes, but the state tightly controls that particular private property. You can't just be, oh my God, this is my land, this is my home, this is my boundary. No, bitch, this is our shit, and you renting it from us basically, because you're gonna be paying property taxes, and we can come snatch it from your ass whenever we want to. I.e. what Jay is talking about, eminent domain, how they used to just snatch people properties and shit like that. Okay.
Yeah, they started that with Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, so
Right.
So the state tightly controls that and controls the economy in a way that demands complete obedience to the rules that they have. So you don't want to follow the rules, bitch, you can die. That's just what
A bully state. A bully state. So the conclusion I'm getting is that a bully government.
Right.
Ran essentially by one thought or one, not one thought, but one thought process, one particular set of ideals, and anybody outside of that, you're out of here.
One ideology, yes. So they are the anti ideology of liberal shit. So they explicitly oppose liberal democracy, communism, socialism, and individualism. We are a collective and you follow our shit or get the fuck out.
and that's why I was asking earlier. And that's why I was asking earlier about American society and the Constitution being based on, because our society is very individualistic.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to like draw these parallels though. So what you were saying about the military, for us, for many of our families, it was the governor, the local city council, the mayor who's not in the KKK, but in the White Citizens Council, which is, the more, we wear a suit and tie version of the KKK that funded the KKK, that then, like you said, people get killed and murdered because you bought a house on the wrong side of town. So we will bomb your house. We will kill all your people. And when we were talking about, I think last week about, Cheney, Goodman, and Warner, who were killed down south, that was the first time the federal government since Reconstruction came in to do something. So we were stopped on what I'm saying, like the reality that all those things you were talking about is like, that's what we were dealing with when we think about the folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That's the police. When we think about, the kids being fire hosed, that's the police, right? It was a standoff between the National Guard and the local police during the Little Rock 9 situation because they control their government. It's states' rights. It's our state. We are on the state level. This is how we're operating. And then when it comes to the economic, like you said, Tulsa is a great example. No recourse, right? We can just come in, burn your shit down. You're fucked. Chicago, we know, Birmingham, you know what I'm saying? No recourse. We can bomb your house. You spoke up. You said too much. You're supposed to be quiet and stay in your place. Those are the things that keep, like, that was the reality of fascism. A lot of Black people during the Jim Crow era in their communities were living under that exact same reality. And it drew a lot of parallels for a lot of white people when shit started to get, more in the media, to your point, because we just came out of World War II. Because it's like, damn, I thought we stood for these things, but they can't even vote. They can't do shit. If they say shit, y'all kill them. Ain't nobody gonna do an investigation. That shit, there's a lot of parallels.
Right. I want to make sure, because we're explaining it, I want to make sure that it's not that I don't understand the theory of what you're talking about, Jay, but we were not in a fascist. Mm-hmm. There's circumstances, but the reason why we shall overcome, how I got over, because all of these things, the progress that we have is because we were not actually in a fascist state. Circumstances, parallels, absolutely. But we were not.
But what about the hunt? We come out like 1890 until like 1965. That was the reality for the majority of Black people living down south.
But that wasn't
That's all
what the ideal was. No. I'm not understand. It's not that I'm saying I don't understand your parallels. Absolutely. But
there's people that make the same thing. Yeah.
But because we live in America,
it is not a fascist state.
It's not a fascist state, and the hypocrisy of them treating us like that is actually a point that our leaders were making. How the fuck you gonna go?
But that was not. But Diamond, I'm saying that was not a popular opinion for like 70 years.
Jay, you turn into
where I'm saying I'm a history person. This is my shit. For that 70 years, there was no appeal to the federal government.
If we were under a fascist system, we wouldn't have been able to change that. Yes, circumstances, yeah, absolutely. But there was ways and inroads that we made to make the choices happen based on voting, based on demographic, based on us pushing people to change. If this was a fascist state, we wouldn't have had that power to push people to change.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, it's just to understand, we're talking about a chip, because shit got way worse for Black people. And then it took almost 100 years to get to the place what you're talking about. So I'm just making sure, like, we clear, like, yes, we got there, but it took about 100 years before we even got to we shall overcome and more black people feeling open. Like when Martin Luther King died, most black people were not in favor of him. They said he was too radical. They were scared. So, like, you
Yeah,
know,
you going on a tangent.
but I'm
You
just
going
saying,
you,
that's, yeah, I'm just
ultimately.
saying that's the reality at that during that time. That was the reality for a lot of folks.
Yeah, I got you, but being the person who asked the question,
And
you were
they
going on the
overcome it and got
tangent,
there too politically.
and that can be confusing because if I'm just learning the definition of fascism, then you can't associate. My brain's not going to correlate with you associate in the United States, which is supposed to be anti-fascist, and it can be confusing for listeners.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know that was going to spark a conversation saying that comment.
That's the thing, it shouldn't
That's
have.
all. I did not expect that comment, which a lot of people have talked about and said, you know, I'm a history nerd. That's all my shit. That's my game. I didn't know that was going to get pushback, or there was confusion about the statement that black people lived under fascism. I didn't know that. That's all I'm saying. So I was kind of surprised and was just trying to explain where I was coming from with that, with some very quick examples, which is, you know, bombing him and, you know, the police hosing us down, because this is a very
But they were all bad examples. That's because all. They were in the US, and this is where this is a prime example on why a lot of people are still confused about the concept of fascism. If we can understand the concept, Jay, we can put those pieces together.
But fascism can exist anywhere.
But if the big argument socially is that America is becoming a fascist state, and you using America as an example of already being a fascist state, that is confusing.
But I'm saying both are true, and it's important.
Yes, but but that's not the conversation. I'm trying to understand fascism. I'm not trying to have a debate about about a subject that I'm just learning.
I wasn't trying to debate, Bree. I just was saying, oh, okay, yeah, here's some examples out of this for us too. That was it.
And I'll repeat myself again. They're not technically fascist because they're in the United States.
I thought fascism was like more of a political thing that could exist anywhere, any government, any part. You know what I'm saying? I thought we were talking about just the historic part of it, and like when it first kind of blew up during that era of World War II. But fascism can happen anywhere, any country.
Yeah, it can, but I don't think that that fascism can exist in a country that's not truly fascist. Having a country or a state or a place or a culture having fascist beliefs doesn't make them a fascist state. Just like a person can be obsessive without being obsessive compulsive. A person can have obsessive tendencies without being obsessive compulsive. You know, you can find a little bit of anything, a little bit of everything anywhere.
I think easier would be like narcissists. Exactly what you said. You can have narcissistic behavior, but doesn't mean that you're a narcissist.
Like, yeah, exactly. Perfect example.
I guess all I'm saying is, because this whole states' rights thing was so big, and they said fuck whatever the federal government is doing. All I'm suggesting, I'm not saying that on the federal level. What I am saying, the federal level turn the eye and let that happen on the state level in the Deep South for a very long time, and there were no inroads on changing that until the late 1960s. We're like the first generation to grow up in actual fucking integration. Like, it's new. And that's all I'm saying is, like, there was this long fucking time when we come out after Reconstruction period, they call it the nadir period, the dark period. You know what I'm saying? Where we're just getting lynched and all this other kind of shit. A man was lynched today, flag. Right.
Yes,
like, that's what I'm just
saying. You going on a tangent again, Jack.
That's it.
It's not that I don't understand.
We already said we agree.
It's not that I don't understand that. What even in what you're saying, there was, in that 100 years, there were cases that were progressing us forward and forward and forward because of our
right.
In that 100 years, should it have been quicker? Absolutely. But in that 100 years, because of the state of our government, the structure of our system, we were able to slowly make inroads to make America become more like the ideal and democracy that it was supposed to be, based on how the system was supposed to work. Now, was it created to work for white people more likely? Yes. But we used the system to make it better for us over that 100 years. And it didn't just happen in the 60s. There was multiple things that happened. That multiple things that we pushed the system and the government to be in, to use the laws to be in our favor. And that structure was not a fascist structure. Yes, the parallels and the circumstances of what we were experiencing mirrored that, and we were able to call to that, especially during when we were fighting against Hitler. We would be like, we would call, our leaders would call out the hypocrisy of the United States. Even at that time, how the fuck y'all gonna be talking about freedom for all, vote, while our people here right now are living under very similar conditions?
But then, the conditions didn't drastically change just because they said it. The conditions start to drastically change like 40 years after that. That's all I'm saying. And all those countries that lived under fascism got over their fascism faster than we did.
Why?
They got over their shit in years.
Why were they
political levers and organizing in France and Germany and Spain?
We were never technically a fascist state. That there were fascist traits in our country towards Black people, racism. But we weren't technically fascist. As somebody who is just learning the word fascist, it can become a bit convoluted when you're throwing subjects like slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, all of those things in a state that's not technically fascist. Like Diamond said, it would, like I said before, it would be confusing. The whole social dynamic around this word fascist and Antifa and anti-fascist and all this shit. I just wanted clarity. When you start talking about a lot of other stuff, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my brain. But I know that if I'm not keeping up, then there's somebody else who ain't.
This is the last thing. This is the last thing I want to say on this. Because we are set up, our government is set up in this federalism, where your state can do what the fuck it wants, and other states can do what the fuck they want. That's all I'm saying. And back in the day, what that looked like instead of anti-trans laws was you cannot vote, you cannot do shit, we will let people kill you, and there will be no recourse. And to me, that's elements are elements of fascism, and that just was that's all I'm trying to get across is like, yo, like our shit is set up that way. So it's set up like we're set up where your state can do what the fuck. So yes, some states, even though they weren't the country, the reality was that in their local government, in their state government, you couldn't appeal to your state legislature. You couldn't go to your state Supreme Court. You couldn't appeal to your mayor. You couldn't appeal to your city council. Not the president, no. Not the U.S. Senate, no. Not the U.S. House of Representatives. But when it came to your governor or your local state senators or state representatives, no, we couldn't do shit. And would sometimes get attacked for that shit. And I'm just saying, because our shit's set up, if our shit wasn't set up that way, sure. But like our shit's set up where states can do what the fuck we know. As we all know, living in 3 different states. We got different realities on what it can be like to be a trans person, a Black person. I'm in fucking Iowa. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but
that's all I'm saying.
That point points to not being a fascist state. A fascist, we all got to do what the fuck they say we got to do. We can't
make each state is its own country.
Even that doesn't make it prove that in this country that is not how it works. The reason why I'm thinking about this I'm trying to bring these two ideas together. So, fascism is when you're in a fascist state, you ain't got no fucking choice. we do not fucking live in a fascist state.
No, not today.
When we are making, wait.
Not.
When we are making the appeal, when we are appealing to you and saying, look, y'all, this is not supposed to be happening in our country. Our journalists are not supposed to be getting arrested.
Right.
You are not supposed to be doing these things. It is because we do not live in a fascist state. Now, are there some things happening or has happened in the past? Absolutely. But that is not the ideal of what we are, what Black people have always pushed America to live up to. We have worked hard, grinding our gears, grinding our bodies to the bone, our mental to the bone, our organizers to the bone, to make this country live up to what it's supposed to be. That is what we do. That is why we organize and why we talk, why we have the power to organize, why we have the power to say every week, you got to vote. You got to register to vote. Why we think that is important is because we do live we're supposed to, and we live in a democracy. So it's our job as the people, our job as the people to make sure that our people who we elect in office is living up to that standard. And when they are not, when they are doing crazy ass fuck shit, just like our people in the past did, we have to call it out when they are not living up to their ideals. And right now, with this arrest of somebody like Don Lemon and all those, he's the most popular, but all those other journalists that they arrest, this is going against our democracy, our literal First Amendment rights. This is just what they are doing. And so it is peaking up again, just like during the time that Jay is talking about, where our government is doing things that does not align to the ideal and aligns more to those evil fascist states that we know in the past. And that is what many of our leaders in the past have talked about. And many of our leaders right now are talking about. So we are not supposed to be in a fascist state. We shouldn't have shit that remind us of that. And when we do, that is the canary in the coal mine. That is the warning that we are going too far to the motherfucking right. We live in a democracy. There are checks and balances. There's due process that you're supposed to have. If it wasn't a democracy, there wouldn't have been pathways to freedom by using the system. The Constitution gave us a foundation to argue our citizenship. So we literally use the founders' document to win our freedom, regardless of the fascist behavior of the time or these kind of elements that parallel fascism. We literally use the checks and balances of our American system to get our freedom. The founding system, we worked within the system to get what we need. The road to change was not simple. We had to chip and shape and go to court and fight and rebel and protest and organize and peaceful protest and violently protest and poison people and kill people and save people and ally with people and work with people to get things to change. It is not a simple change, but because we live in a democracy, that possibility was even there. We live in a democracy, and it's not supposed to be moving like a fascist country. And Black people have always been, and Native people have always been, the test on if these motherfuckers is living up to that. We push them. We grind their gears. We push them in the direction that their ideals are supposed to be. And we don't wait for it. We fight for it. And that is what we do in a democracy. That's what we can do in a democracy. And that is what we want to make clear. Before we get off the subject, we want to make clear that that is what it's supposed to be, is democracy. And listening to the people. Not one man, not a king, not an oligarch, none of that shit. And when they start moving like that, we as people have to call, as citizens of this country, we have to call it out. And so,
1,000, like some of that 90 million that did not vote have to vote. What? That's
because we don't live in a
right,
fascist state.
to actually take the action to make a change. Like calling it out is one part, but that don't change the reality. Voting for the people that we calling out to not be in office and get the people we want in office that's gonna hold our shit down. That's how we get it across that line.
Right. And that is our job. That is our duty. That is what we're supposed to be practicing as a democracy and as a people, as citizens in this country. We are not fascists, because if we were a fascist, motherfuckers could kill us and not have any consequences like they did.
Right. Like they used to do
in the past.
That's why what's happening in Minneapolis should be shocking, and it should outrage real Americans. Anybody espousing to be a patriot and see what the fuck is going on, and they are not shocked or against it, they are a fucking liar. We live in a democracy, and we have the right to practice protest. We have the right to speak our mind. We have a right to freedom of press. These are all our rights, and they cannot erode them. We gotta vote these motherfuckers out.
Right, exactly. Right. Oh, speaking of, hey, make sure you check your local, state elections and see what's going on, because the other people are preparing to take over more local city council, school boards. You know what I'm saying? Your assessor, the person doing your fucking taxes, this, that, and the third. The judges, all that shit. The judge and the DA, you might want to have some control over if you're black. So make sure you check that. Every election is important, because every election you're voting on somebody who's going to spend your money to do the shit you want them to do, or do some shit that's going to fuck you over. So, you know,
and hey, don't feel
if you don't use it, you lose it. So we got to use it, because you know we too far to the right if we have this conversation.
And don't feel like everything is lost. We here in Texas just flipped a seat that's been red for 17 years.
Okay, shout out to Texas for that.
Amen. So make sure you are not giving up, and you are practicing your right to vote.
Right. Every election is important. Every election.
Small ones, local ones, and national ones. It is in state ones, and all of them are important. And we need your vote. That's just what it is. It's looking bleak, yes, but
because they expecting us to not vote.
It's
more of us than them, honestly, at the end of the fucking day.
We are seeing some wins. We are seeing some seats that are being turned in states that they're not supposed to. Well,
Diamond, on the real, right. Here's the real tea. Here's the real tea. They're not even trying to turn out more voters like that. More of their strategy is about getting us to stay the fuck home. And they're getting a big chunk of their win percentage-wise. You know, I nerd out on this shit, y'all. But because people aren't voting. And so, like, that's their gag. So we gotta call that shit out and get to the fucking polls, like y'all said, every fucking single time, because every fucking election matters.
And wait, before we end, I'm not editing this shit out. Y'all need to hear how we handle conversations. That's
true.
That's why I leave that shit in, because y'all need to hear how we handle conversation. We love each other. We are we're not gonna agree, and we gonna have some debates. We gonna have some clashes, bitch. And y'all go hear the motherfucker.
And this is how you grow as an intellectual, when you can have conversations that may feel uncomfortable, when you may have to step outside of your typical personality traits and not be scared of confrontation a little bit with people you love.
Yeah. Look up the definition of fascism. Learn about other past countries and leaders who were fascists. Pay attention to the parallels in those countries, think that they did, and look at how some of those things reflected in our past as people. That's what I want y'all to do, and see the parallels, and see how in this country that is not supposed to be a fascist state, how did our people overcome those? What did they do? I promise you, some protest was involved, some voting was involved, some leadership and organizing was involved. All of that shit was involved. So when we see bullshit happening, all those things play a part. Shit on the ground, protesting, and voting. All right. Make sure y'all let us know what y'all think, and hashtag Marsha's Play.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts. I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community, and I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community, because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show.
So Shaboozy won a Grammy. I forgot what. I don't got the article up. My bad. What the Grammy was for? I'm sure it was for something. Could one of y'all pull up the?
It's a country. He did a country duo performance with him and Jelly, and I think that is what he got the Grammy for. Oh, okay. But while you look it up, I do want to shout out to Duran Bernard for winning his first Grammy, and I also want to shout out. This ain't a shout out for it, but what I love about last night with the Grammys is him being absolutely himself, but also Kendrick Lamar going out of his way to during his win go over to Duran and give him some love and show him love and like, yo, congratulations. So this peak now that he's got this Grammy, he is the top hip hop artist, male rapper of all times in regards to winning Grammys. And so for him to go over and what was you about to say? Because this Grammy won and led him over Jay-Z. What was you about to say?
Oh, no. I was...
Oh, okay. So he went over and gave him a hug and shook his hand. I don't think it was a hug, but he shook his hand and intentionally went over and congratulated him for his Grammy win, but also showing love and reverence to Luther Vandross. Because him and SZA's song is what won, and they sampled Luther Vandross' song, and showing love to Luther Vandross, who we also know as a queer icon. I know he never came out, but I consider him a queer icon. And showing him love, and then we got the bi representation of Kehlani winning her. I just felt like it was a good night for Black folks and a good night for queer folks. I just thought it was dope. So Shaboozy.
Yeah. Honey, thank you for the Grammy. Yes. And just for clarity, the award was for their song "Amen" with Jelly Roll, Shaboozy's song with Jelly Roll. Amen. You are absolutely right, Diamond. It was best country duo / group performance. So yeah, you got niggas out here winning country awards at the Grammy
again.
And I know they fucking hate.
No, we can't hear you. Say it again.
They're gonna say, oh shit.
Start with they hate it. They fucking hate it.
They hate it, honey. They thought it was a trend with niggas. Honey, they say y'all still here snatching our motherfucking awards, bitch. And we still gonna do it, honey. And be prepared, because Beyonce's coming out with a rock album. We're gonna remind y'all that niggas started that too. Ah!
And queer.
That's well, honey, any talented motherfucking group of niggas is going to be at least 90% queer in the bunch. Like, what did you talk about? You just said how they can't even get a woman winning awards. We ain't even gonna get on Nippy. We love our girl Nippy, but we ain't even gonna get on how she wanted to dance with somebody, honey, and that somebody wasn't necessarily a man. But anyway, Yeah, shout out to Shaboozy. But what's going on with Shaboozy? What you guys tell us that's going on with Shaboozy, Jay?
Nippy being DL is my favorite performance.
She wanted to dance with somebody, honey.
Wait. What are you saying? What happened?
I'm saying Nippy being DL is my favorite Whitney Houston performance.
Oh Lord. Just in like for real. I got you. I was like, did something happen at the Grammys?
CJ, you be fucking us up. You be making dance. You be fucking us up, Jay. You be messing up our damn tea, honey. Them teas are supposed to slide by. We're not supposed to clarify the tea. What if we got white people listening? They don't need to know what we talking about. They don't know who no damn Nippy is.
Oh shit. Edit it out for real, damn it. Everybody don't need to know everything. To your point.
That was kitchen table talk.
So Shaboozy, this is a Griot article from February 1st, right? 2026. Shaboozy draws strong reactions over Grammy acceptance speech. Quote, immigrants built this country. The artist remarks praising immigrants through both support and criticism online, fueling heated debates in comment sections. So Shaboozy's Grammy Awards, according to the article, they say Shaboozy's Grammy Award has ignited a polarized reaction online with commenters, blah, blah, blah. When accepting his award for Best Country Duo/Group Performance for Amen, Shaboozy thanked his mother, describing her as an immigrant who worked multiple jobs in the medical field to support their family. After thanking his team, he then broadened his message, stating, quote, immigrants built this country, literally, and thanking immigrants for bringing their, quote, culture, music, stories, and traditions to the United States, adding, you give America color. The speech quickly circulated on social media where reactions were split, what have you. But Bernie, first of all, did y'all watch the Grammy? Did y'all see that speech? I guess
I did.
No.
Did you ever react? I'll ask you later, but about your reaction to it. But Bernice King, the daughter of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. She had she commented. Oops. Damn. She commented on it, and damn, I just had it. I can't see, so I have to blow it up. Okay, she said, this is from today. She said, it's Black History Month. It's hashtag Black History Month, and I have to ask, are people, including enslaved Africans, descendants of those enslaved, and Black people whose unjust, low-wage labor sustained the economy in the 1800s and 1900s as immigrants when they say, quote, immigrants built this country? Because chattel slavery was for the express purpose of building empire. But our ancestors weren't folks who came here seeking a better life. They arrived in chains. We were bred like cattle and severely violated, sexually and otherwise. Their trauma shouldn't be diminished or forgotten, even in efforts towards freedom from ISIS' inhumane, violent tactics. We can only get to justice for all when truth is taught, embraced, and spoken. What did y'all like? Diamond, you saw the speech. First of all, like, what are y'all thoughts about both? I guess like the speech and Bernice King's comment. I guess what are your
I'm gagging.
How you gagging? What you gagging about?
I'm gagging that he said immigrants run this country or immigrants built this country. Even with his whole chest at the Grammys. Like I'm gagging that he said that because to me the math don't math. Like immediately I had the question that Bernice King had. Like, is you including slavery? Nigga, Like it's the immigrants that you include in the conversation. But then it still makes the pit of my motherfucking stomach hurt. It makes me feel like, I got diarrhea or something at the thought that he would still say that with his whole chest, because we completely ignoring the motherfuckers we stole the land from. Like it was shit here before white folk came over this motherfucker. Like why do y'all keep forgetting that? Like it was whole cultures, pyramids and shit. Like in the Americas, yes, they don't just exist on one continent, motherfucker. Like what the fuck you built the country in what way? And if you're saying built the United States, then yeah, I can ride with you and I can side with you if you're talking about if you included slavery and the immigration of it all. Yeah, I get what you're saying, because without the motherfuckers that colonized this motherfucker, immigrants, technically, the U.S. wouldn't exist. Without the slaves that they brought over here to build the empire, the U.S. wouldn't exist. And without all the people who have chosen to come here for a better life, the U.S. wouldn't exist in the capacity that it exists today. But I still don't like the fact that he said that. I think it could have been worded much better.
What about you, Diamond? What do you think about Shaboozy's comment specifically? And like, what was your reaction since you saw it in real time? Like, what was your, I guess, or did you have one?
I did not have a reaction in real time. It was like my first mind was, oh yes, he's speaking up for immigrants. And then when I thought about it, not right in the moment, but when I thought about it, I was like, but my ADOS. My ADOS kind of be triggering sometimes because I am American descendant of slave, baby. I am ADOS fish, and sometimes, the immigrants and their children, shit on us, and it pisses me off sometimes. So I understand us saying, motherfucker, you're gonna have to put some respect on our name. Motherfucker, you're gonna have to do that. But in this time right now, not saying I totally agree. I totally agree with Bernice King. In this time right now, I'm gonna have to, I would have, not Bernice, I'm talking about me. I would have to be on my light skin shit too, because let me see how that connect. So sometimes in this scenario, when we talk about Black Americans and immigrants, I feel like the privileged ones in the scenario that we're in right now, we are, because technically we are citizens born here. They're not really questioning us like that. I don't think so. So
you know where you live, yeah.
Right. Now, if they mistaking you for you Haitian, they looking for some Haitian people and you look like a Haitian motherfucker, but you Black American, things can happen in regards to that. But technically, if you got your paperwork,
it is happening though.
Yes, I know it is. But an actual immigrant is way more vulnerable than us because we are citizens here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that scenario, just like as if a person is saying something that I disagree with when it comes to like the colorism conversation, sometimes I feel it's, even though I feel like it's appropriate for me to call them out when they wrong, sometimes I also kind of want to choose my battles, and I'm like, oh, okay, in this moment, yeah, baby, let me pull you to the side. The problem with the internet is it's no pull to the side conversations. Somebody say this at the conference, somebody say that, I can pull you to the side. Well, let me give you some nuance, right, baby. We came over here with not from our free will, even though some of us was just, if we know the Seminoles and the history of why they are dark and some Africans was sailing over here before slavery. Anyway, but many of us came over here and it wasn't to find a new life like an immigrant. It wasn't that. We were forced over here and forced into labor and economically built this country. And so I would say that a pull to the side. In that moment, I felt like, okay, I know his point. I don't think his intention was to erase us and erase natives and shit on us. I think his intention was to call out what's happening to immigrants right now. And as a privileged person, I took it as, let me just sit back and maybe not call it out. But we live with the internet. People are going to use these moments to call it out and do that. And so, yeah, I would have just said, okay, he misspoke. Let's talk about it later, off the record, slide in the DMs, da 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 da. But we don't live in that time. We live in that time. You say something wrong, which just gives so many people anxiety about speaking up. You say something wrong, people are going to call you out about it. And so I implore you to be educated and to be diligent about choosing your words wisely, but also don't be scared to be wrong, because like Shaboozy, I feel like his response should be, oh, you know what? You're right. Yes, we all built this motherfucking country and da 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 da. And however that works, you can respond in a way that is still, you don't need to be defensive, like, oh my God, I didn't mean it like that. You don't have to be like that. You be like, you know what, you're right, and leave it at that. But I think his intention was just to call out what's happening against immigrants.
Let me clarify a little bit. Let me add a little more nuance to my reaction, because my reaction was visceral and my stomach still hurt that he said that. But for me, this is a prime example of where I can separate the art from the artist. This ain't something that I'm going to counsel Shaboozy about. Even if Shaboozy is a black immigrant or comes from a black immigrant family that are very proud and they feel superior to American black people, I'm still not mad at that, because I know that that's ignorance. You know what I mean?
I'm mad and don't think you swear to me, bitch. And you just dropped off at a different island hole. Fuck you.
But I personally am not. When it comes to an artist, for me, this is an example where, if with it being a black person, yes, he's an artist. He's not an activist. He's not a, speech writer. He's a songwriter. And I could separate it. I wouldn't counsel him behind that type of pride, because he is black. However, and because he is dark skinned as well. Because if he was some high yellow motherfucker immigrant talking that shit, honey, I think we would all have a different reaction had he been a light skinned Latino or racially ambiguous immigrant. I think we would all have a different reaction.
I think also you're right on all that, both of y'all, like, just like the nuance of it. And it's common. It's a common thing that it's a common thing for some immigrants of African descent to say things like that. And hopefully some folks have learned, like, that's deeply, deeply offensive for, your family that come from folks who unfortunately were stripped away from the continent and survived that experience and then got these descendants, right? Like, some of us, my granddaddy was 7 years old when Harriet Tubman died. So, some of us are like, what I'm saying? Some of our families talk about, like, a lot of folks dealing with a lot of trauma. We all dealing with trauma. We still dealing with this shit today. So maybe not for everybody, and that's okay, but just, maybe folks learning, like, for some folks, even if you never met a person or had that experience, it can be deeply, deeply hurtful, without, even though that's not the intention, because of, what our families have experienced. Like, sharecropping was still slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I ever say sharecropping around my sister, she's talking about slavery, like, in a heartbeat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it ain't everybody's struggle, but for some folks it is. So hopefully it's like a learning opportunity as well.
And I think I think that there's two things that I think happen. prior to what we were talking about earlier, those years that grind up to be respected citizens, they were homogenizing a lot of us. And so whether you was coming over here from the Caribbean, you come over here from wherever you came from, you was a black person in Europe that came over here and then got enslaved, because there were some of those too. Um, wherever you came from, if you ended up in America, you were narrowed down to just being a slave, just being an African, and your descendant really didn't matter until we started to migrate and go different places, and those shifts started to happen where identity started to be super super big. When we get into the bigger cities, when we get those differences started to matter way way more when we come into Jim Crow, when we come into Reconstruction, when we come into these times. But prior to slavery being abolished, bitch, they didn't give a fuck where you were from. You was a slave that was dropped off at different ports in the Americas. And so that's just what it was. And I think that those divisive kind of those divisive things, we got to get over that fucking shit. Like, we got to get over it. That doesn't mean get over it and not respect the contribution of everybody, because even some of the people that we think of as our educational thought leaders, like some of these people were of Caribbean descent. Some of these people was of, just from different places. And but we don't question whether or not they were black. We don't question whether or not, we don't separate them. We don't separate them. We know that they contributed what it is, and we can respect each other's contribution without shitting on each other. And so for me, him particularly, I don't think that that's what he was doing, but it's good when people are conscious of everybody's contribution, so we can be in a solid,
absolutely,
in solidary thought and progression with each other.
So what did y'all think about Bernice King's statement?
For me, I think it's valid. It's the first thing that came to my mind. It's the question that I wanted to ask him. It's the question that I wanted to tweet, but since she beat me to it, I'll just repost it. And for all the reasons that Diamond said, because without clarity, that statement is very divisive.
And I think the last statement, the last portion, what was the last part about being taught the truth being, what she say? Hold on, let me go to it. She says, we only get to justice for all when truth is taught, embraced, and spoken. So I think that's the point. It's not to, oh my God, we want to cancel Shaboozy because that is, I think exactly what Bree said. Like, this isn't one of those moments where we're talking about canceling somebody or talking about they're a horrible person because they didn't know. This is not one of, this is a misspoke situation, and we are doing our jobs to talk about it and clear it up. And the clarification is that yes, immigrants have contributed to this country, still contribute to this country, but they aren't the only ones. Definitely not. And none of this shit was ours. Motherfuckers was here before us. And so,
yeah. For myself personally, resonated, obviously, like it resonated with y'all. And I am one of those people that grew up like slave trade, all that bullshit, Jim Crow, crimes against humanity. It was the same shit. Crimes against humanity, period. So the way people talk about the Holocaust and feel about the Holocaust, that's how I feel about our shit. That's how I grew up around people that felt that way about that shit. It was my normal. And there's a lot of people like that in our community. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad that, like, because a lot of people aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? So even though there are a lot of people that are, and then there's a lot of folks that's in the middle, right? And it's like, it just depends on the circumstances and the context about how hot I may or may not feel, or, this kind of guttural thing for some folks. But It's like, it's okay, boo. Now you know. You know what I'm saying? The more you know. You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly don't think a lot of people who are immigrants or, you know what I'm saying, first generation, second generation, know that shit, right? And I don't think a lot of us as black people, even who been here at least 3 generations, share that with them often. You know, some people do, but not everybody does. So shit.
And
They ain't telling you they pissed. So now you know, girl.
and he winning a Grammy in front of
Yeah.
millions of people. Sometimes you be nervous and might say the wrong thing. Might say,
Oh
you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying?
It's all good. But
Yes,
I'm just saying,
sometimes
but
it's
people say
nervous.
that shit all the time, Diamond. Like he ain't special saying it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's so fucking common. Maybe
yeah.
people did not know that no, you're pissing your black friends who grandma was in fucking sharecropping and slavery and shit all the fuck off. And lovingly they're not saying shit because it's weird and shit. Right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, that's very hurtful. You know what I'm saying? That's
That
how you can be
eraser.
an ally, girl. It works it's all the way around. You know what I'm saying? Shit, the more you know, the more you go.
And
We Pan African shit. We here to
and
support
we ain't
everybody. Love each other.
And
Shit,
we
baby
gonna be
shit.
every single time we gonna be on our Soldier Boy Draco shit. We gonna remind you what we motherfucking did in this game. Just like Soldier Boy this week told that dude said he was the first streamer to ever get nominated for a Grammy. Soldier Boy said, "Nigga, nah, I
No, the
did
fuck
that
you
in
wasn't.
2008." That's what we feel like, motherfucker. We
Hmm.
feel like, nah. We understand you feeling yourself right now because you don't want your little Grammy, but nah, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot to kind
That's
of.
we was on our Draco
That's
shit.
kind of big. That's you sound like the white people talking about immigrants built this country. That's what you sound like the Italian.
That sound like
You
some
sound just
Christopher
like anybody the
Columbus.
fuck else. You know
Yeah,
what
Sound
I'm
like some
saying?
Christopher
Insert Robert
Columbus
De
shit
Niro
to
saying that, girl.
me.
That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because you would feel some kind of
Sound
way if it was Robert De Niro.
right.
So as
yeah,
well, you know,
yeah.
where it's saying white immigrants just built this country, right? You would feel some kind of way too. So
Yeah, we understand you was on some fuck ice
it's
shit. You
all
know what I
good.
mean, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the representation still matters. That
The
black
thing to
man
say.
at the end of the day, regardless of ethnicity and family heritage, a black man is out here winning country awards.
Love it. Wrap it up.
Mm.
All right. So let us know what you think about Shaboozy's comment about saying, just how that landed for you, and about Bernice King's Instagram post talking about, this first day of Black History Month. Anyway, it is up hashtag Marsha's Plate. Bree, break it down.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Wait, Nikki had
Child.
another Coke rant?
Yeah, she was on the Coke rant. It started when at the Grammy red carpet, honey. Soon they started announcing the awards.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Nikki went on the Coke, another one of her rant, allegedly a Coke, but a real, in reality, provable rant. Honey, she went on Nicki Minaj, Maga Minaj, went on another rant last night, honey. It was a lot of Donald Trump talking points. It was a lot of Republican talking points. It was a lot of white nationalist talking points. It was a lot of misinformation, spreading misinformation. It was MAGA shit, basically. Like, I'm not sure if the bitch is really brainwashed or if she just playing her part to keep her gold card.
That
I
don't mean
want her.
nothing. That gold
That's
card.
what, that's what I was gonna say, Zaman. Like, I wonder if she realizes that with the next president, honey, even if this one have to be overthrown, with the next president, that gold card is going to be invalid. And if you do too much, bitch, you might get implicated on war crimes. Honey, stop playing around. You can play around with the motherfucking Trump if you want, girl. Honey, you know that you one
Facts.
leg. You know that you one leg from being on the inner tube and shipped back to Tobago, honey. She better get the fuck up out of here. But yeah, she went on a rant, y'all. The spicy stuff the things that jumped out to many people, honey, she straight up implicated Beyonce and Jay-Z as the people who she has been subtweeting, the people she's been subliminally talking about when she's been referring to essentially Illuminati like practices in the music industry. Her repeating that Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown when she was 15 and took her virginity. He was 23. She reposted a post that said Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown when she was 15 and took her virginity. He was 23 at the time. She reposted that and she asked true or false. Then she reposted another post that accuses Harvey Levin of being named in the Epstein files. She alleges through reposting on her page that, or she agrees by reposting on her page that Harvey Levin, she's spreading the information that Harvey Levin of TMZ is a good friend who could help run a global PR effort to defend convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Now, these are the allegations Nicki made herself. These are not retweets, reposts. These are things that she is posted from her page directly. She posted a picture and she marked, it's a picture of Aaliyah and Jay-Z, and she marks Aaliyah's age as 15 and Jay-Z's age as 26 in the picture. And they're very intimately hugging. There's another picture with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and she tags the supposed year, and she says that Jay-Z was 27 in the picture. She tags it in the picture, and she says that Beyonce was 16 in the picture. And this is the caption she made for the picture. Are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind that that picture has already been proven to be a fraud. The picture that she posts with Jay-Z and Beyonce has been photo opped, and that has been proven and debunked online. And Beyonce was not 16 in the picture, even if it wasn't photoshopped. Aaliyah is not 15 in the picture that she posts with Aaliyah and Jay-Z. Aaliyah was actually 21 in that picture. I remember that picture personally when it came out, and I remember that Aaliyah was an adult. She posts, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of a blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. After that, she says Trevor Noah refuses to come out of the closet when everybody in the industry knows his boyfriend. Allegedly, she says after that. They sabotaged her documentary. She goes on a rant about that, about the industry sabotaging her. She posts another picture of Jay-Z and Aaliyah together when Aaliyah was the same age, 21. And she says, what the fuck? Hashtag child predator. And that's just some essentially where it started. She ended up going after Jimmy Kimmel. She ended up going after Lizzo. A whole bunch of stuff.
She did the stereotypical transphobic bullshit against Chrissy Teigen. She says everyone know that Chrissy Teigen has or had a dick.
Yeah, she said Chrissy Teigen was trans. And this was in response because, you know, we were talking about the Grammys being live. She was tweeting this stuff as she was seeing people respond or talk about her in the Grammys. She tweeted about alleging that Trevor Noah is gay when Trevor made a joke about her. And Chrissy Teigen reacted with a laugh, and that's how Chrissy Teigen ended up getting posted as well.
She also said the LGBT has started seeing through the veil and it is pissing them off. Why are they getting the gay vote by default? They've moved on from the gay vote to flying in people to vote for them. No loyalty to anyone. The gay community should be able to choose every 4 years, like everyone else, after the Democratic campaign to win your vote. They should not just get your vote. Wake up, gays.
A whole bunch of yeah, it's laughable to people who it's laughable to people who are socially aware, because clearly it's bullshit and it's misinformation, and these are the type of things that Trump literally has done to get his name and to get in office. Donald Trump has created this macrocosm, this huge global society where people can just say outrageous things online that can be completely untrue and mass a large following and have tons of interaction. And if you happen to be somebody who's famous for something other than just being a social media personality, oh, you can really go off your fucking rocker. And yeah, anybody who's socially aware, you already know this is bullshit. But to the people who might actually be questioning whether anything she says is true, I really genuinely want you to read a book. And guess what? You don't even have to know how to read. They have these things called audiobooks now. And start from about any question that you have, anything that you're not sure about that Nicki Minaj has tweeted about. Start there. Google it. And you know, the way Google is set up nowadays, you don't even have to read there either. You can get your phone to read it to you. All you got to do is ask Siri or Alexa.
Let me read what she said about Lizzo too. I want to read these because I wanted to show you how nasty she has become. She has turned into, she is a MAGA. Like not that we didn't know, but I want you to understand how toxic she has become. So this is what she said.
She's replaced Marjorie Taylor Greene, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So she says, Fat Lizzo lost 300 pounds just to sell 3 albums. So now she has loose skin and a flop album and a weird charge. And then she put, she's. Also attacks George Clinton. She said, George Clinton, sit your stinking ass down. And when I mean stinking, I mean porter potty or whatever your fucking name is. So anybody who says anything against her, that is what she's, that's just where she at. And we saw her own, and when I say her own community, I'm talking about in the music industry. Like clearly, people, she didn't come to the Grammys. I want to see what this album is gonna do in March, because girl, who is
she already said she already said that the album is not coming out. That was part of that rant about the documentary and all of that. She already said the album isn't coming out in March.
Smart, because baby, we know that motherfucker was gonna flop down, baby. But she is just, I feel like she has turned into whatever the music version of whatever Candace Owens tapped into.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, Candace Owens now has the highest rated podcast in the country. She beat out Joe Rogan. And so
because it's all the grift for these people.
Yeah, I think Nicki is switching because she is turning into this grip. She just did a video with one of those right-wing people, a video interview with one of those right-wing people, talking about she turned right because she started standing up and become right-wing because she saw how we as the left was treating and bullying him, and she couldn't take it because she understand how her industry does that to her. So
yeah, all this bullshit.
All this is bullshit.
The girl is talking about bullying, and she married a motherfucking murderer, sex offender, rapist. Like, bitch, not only is you sitting next to the bully, bitch, you sitting next to the bully killer, bitch.
But I mean, isn't that very on brand for MAGA wives?
Yeah,
it's the delusion for me. The only thing that I have to say about this subject, honestly, is I just don't want y'all to let her back. Anybody with some sense, I know you've already cut the umbilical cord from Nicki Minaj, honey. You've already cut your headphones. You've already snipped your motherfucking headphones and got away from Nicki Minaj, at least following her publicly anyway. But don't let her ass back, because like most grifters, when the tide change, you know, she gonna learn from her ways and she gonna apologize and all that. If she does, don't let her the fuck back. I ain't never trusted the bitch.
Remember that basket of deplorables speech Hillary Clinton or whatever she said, you know, if Trump win during that debate, it's gonna bring a basket of deplorables and all this shit going of like racist shit, sexist shit, and she got criticized for that shit. It's like, this is that shit. We are thick in that shit. This is crazy. But you know,
baby, at this
make sure
point,
we vote at every election and we can change this shit around. Like, that's the solution, regardless of what all the other shit we talk about. So keep that shit in mind. Go to the polls every time, as we've all said.
At this point, if you're a woman and you support Nicki Minaj, if you're a queer, anybody in the LGBTQ plus and support Nicki Minaj, if you're an immigrant and you support Nicki Minaj, if you're black and you support Nicki Minaj, I've lost a bit of respect for you. I can understand still listening to her music and separating the art from the artist, but if you publicly steal a barb and, you know, you in comment sections and, you know, you reporting people and doing that shit that you barbs are known for doing, I really want you to get some help. I really want you to talk to a therapist immediately, because clearly you're connecting with somebody who is psychotic. So that in itself, I think, is sign enough to at least get evaluated.
I'm gonna second that. I think, but particularly queer, black and queer, there should not be any queer barbs. Like, she's giving homophobic dog whistles to the max when she was saying the transphobic shit when it comes to Chrissy Teigen. And she said some shit about Trevor Noah. She says Trevor Noah refused to come out of the closet when everyone in the industry knows his boyfriend. We know as queer people, those are homophobic dog whistles. That is homophobia. And so you should not be supporting somebody this homophobic. I don't think this is on R. Kelly level banning and blah blah blah. But I think this is, if you're, like Bree said, if you're out here defending her at this point and you queer, baby, I've been deleting people.
I have to disagree a bit on that, Diamond. With the way my social awareness is set up, to me, she is on a R. Kelly level, not directly hurting people, not directly being violent, but she's supporting policies and politicians who can and have and will hurt people.
Oh, yeah, true.
Did y'all see what, I can't find it, but like when Don Lemon responded to some of the stuff with Nicki Minaj?
Don read her and let it go. After Don got locked up, he said fuck Maga Minaj. But yeah, she just called him a cocksucker. She said cocksucker stop. Just a couple days ago.
Which is homophobic.
Yeah, extremely homophobic. That was a dog whistle if I've ever heard a homophobic dog whistle. Calling a gay man a cocksucker and telling him to stop. Yeah, no. All right.
Fuck Nicki. What oh boy Billy Porter. Fuck her. Oh my God, the barbs are gonna be morphing into MAGA barbs. Ew.
Yeah, they already giving MAGA barb, honey. They just trying to process what the fuck she talking about.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've also seen people be like, I'm not gonna be that gay for you, Nicki Minaj.
I definitely see.
Great.
I definitely see that the tide has turned, even with even on Twitter, you know, even on X, formerly known as Twitter, which we know is full of bots and we know is ran by Elon Musk. Even there, the tide has turned and her audience has turned. There are a few. I have seen a few barbs in the comments, but it's definitely not giving what it used to be. And I've seen former barbs like reading her. And I've seen a lot of people calling out content creators and, you know, social media figures who are still barbs and supporting her. So let us know. Hashtag Marsha's Plate. That's hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you the feeling and the high you never come down from. Whoa.
All right, y'all. So, what is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
What's bringing me euphoria this week is this episode is bringing me euphoria this week. Like, you know, yeah. Bree earlier, it was a reminder like, oh yeah, no, like my situation is very different now than it was. So, you know, I was on a little muscle memory of being kind of tied up. So I appreciate that. And hearing the listener feedback was amazing and beautiful as well. So like, it's bringing me a lot of euphoria and energy and just, yeah, come on, 2026. Let's do this on Marsha's Plate. All right, that's what's bringing me euphoria. What about you, Bree?
A couple things have been bringing me euphoria.
The love. Sorry, that's
a couple things have been bringing me euphoria. Just today alone. Earlier today, I interviewed with the Tea Time podcast. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with them. The blokes, the trans bros out there in Manchester, out there in the UK. I interviewed with them earlier today. That is out now. So y'all should check that out. Of course, I plugged Marsha's Plate, but yeah, you know, I talked. They asked questions about me. It was really cool. I felt really comfortable being vulnerable with them. So it was dope. It was a dope moment. You know, overall, I've just been feeling better as far as the mental health journey. Being in therapy weekly, consistently now, feels like an elephant is lifted off of my chest. You know, I get to release a lot more, and that feels really good. That feels really dope. And I'm also enjoying making content again. I've been randomly live streaming. And I enjoy it. I've been having fun with it. I've been enjoying being on YouTube. I feel like it's a good medium. It's a great medium for me right now. And yeah, it says a lot because I had stopped live streaming for a year because of my anxiety. yeah, outside of recording with y'all, everything that I was doing was pre-recorded and edited for the past year. And starting about 2 weeks ago, I started streaming again, and I'm actually starting to like it again now, and just navigating that, having fun with it. Definitely come over there and Kiki and cut up with me. It's definitely not Marsha's plate on purpose. There is a side of me that I saved for y'all here on Marsha's plate, but it's definitely a good time. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. What about you, Diamond? What's bringing you euphoria?
Gaming. I have been back gaming. If anybody knows me, I am a gamer, but I have.
Wait, Diamond. It wasn't just gaming. It was gaming. Okay.
Yes, So anybody who knows me personally know that my gay son passed away in 2022, and that was my gaming partner. So I actually totally stopped gaming because me being on the game reminded me of my gay son, like hearing just the culture of gaming because we did it so much for 10 years together. It just, me getting back on the game was something I just couldn't do after he passed away. So it's been like, ooh, I just stopped. And I recently started back gaming. Um, I started playing Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is a game that just came out in 2025. And basically, you go out, the world has been taken over by these machines. And so everybody is living in this bunker underground. And so you got to come out of the ground and go rummage for things to survive. But it's other players, real human players in there trying to get stuff too, and they can rob you, beat you up, kill you to take your shit and take it back to their home down in the underground too. So it is fire. You got your guns, you scavenging stuff, you killing people, you killing
It took a turn. It took a turn, Diamond. I'm thinking, oh, y'all creating these worlds and you creating these universe, and then you said, oh yeah, AKs and machetes and axes and shit.
I'm saying like Grand Theft Auto meets what, like
Grand Theft Auto meets Farmville, honey.
No, it's like Fallout, Grand Theft Auto, and like GoldenEye, 007
like GameCube. Yeah, it's a lot of things happening.
So it's fire. I love it. You meet people and now they can attack you or they can be cool. So sometimes they come up to you and be like, friendly. I ain't trying to do nothing. And then you walk past them and they shoot you behind your back with a gun. Boom, you dead and got to go back to your gig. Or you can do that. It just depends. Or they really be nice and they can hand you tools and guns and help you survive.
Or they can really be nice.
Yes. So I've been playing with my little brother because he's been playing for a while now since it came out, and so I've been playing with my actual biological little brother.
Blood brother.
And so we've been playing and we've been having fun. So if you play Arc Raiders, just so happen in the audience, make sure y'all add me. My name, of course, is Diamond Stylz, just like it is everywhere else. Diamond Stylz, and my numbers are #3885. So Diamond Stylz spelled the regular way, DIAMONDSTYLZ is in zebra, and the #3885. Add me. I don't mind going on runs. Now I'm not on a high level, so don't think I'm gonna be kicking ass. Don't think I'm gonna be kicking ass. But
I don't mind playing with you. I don't mind going on runs.
I want to go on runs and I want to do all that stuff, but don't think that I'm strong like like I've been on the game like I'm level 50, 75. No, I'm level 4. So I literally just started last week. So add me. Let's run on some Arc Raider shit, and that's what's been bringing me euphoria because it's been keeping my mind off of the bullshit fascist state that this country is becoming. So all right, Let us know what is bringing y'all euphoria this week, and we will see y'all next week.
All right, y'all. We love y'all.
Hasta luego.
Bye,
Peace,
y'all.
love, and blessings.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's Plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's Diamond STYLZ@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.